All right, so you've heard about shrimp being grown in steel tanks, and what I'm going to tell you about today is an approach to do that, not just for shrimp, but for all marine species. And the first question you might ask is, why not just eat out of the ocean? Well, we're doing quite a lot of that, and unfortunately the population is outstripping how fast our fish can grow in the ocean, and we're rapidly approaching a tipping point where many of our species will go extinct because we like them too much. But what we think at Umami, where I work, is that we want to preserve the cultural heritage of eating these foods while removing the negative environmental and biodiversity impacts of eating these foods. And the solution is to separate production from consumption and leave the fish in the ocean while also feeding people. So the way that we do that is we isolate stem cells from these fish and then figure out how to feed them food-grade ingredients instead of pharmaceutical-grade ingredients. We have to then optimize the feed and the structure of the product so that we can produce not just any stem cell, but we can produce the muscle, fat, and connective tissue that we actually enjoy as flavorful, nutritious food. So this is our starting point for Umami, is to basically figure out how to harness the power of biotechnology to produce sustainable seafood that, oh, by the way, is free from mercury, free from microplastics, and doesn't dredge the bottom of the oceans to catch it. And so our research has been focused on how we do this in the lab, as well as how we scale it and make it economical. Because at the end of the day, food cannot be something that costs as much as a pharmaceutical. And we've actually made substantial progress on that front, being able to produce several hundred grams of cells per liter of reactor, which means we can produce ton scale in rooms smaller than this. And that means we can put fish production next to the people who want to eat it, and we can reduce transportation emissions, we can reduce seasonality. So if you want that eel, unagi, in the wintertime, you can get it, not just in the summer. And we can make food more available for the communities where populations are growing that are going to demand that. Most of our neighbors, Malaysia and Indonesia. And the reason that this is so important is not just food security, or sometimes foods in Singapore, they say food sovereignty. But it's also that our food system is the single biggest contributor after our energy to our climate impact on the planet. And recent research has shown that bottom trawling to catch many of these fish is producing half as much emissions per year as aviation globally. And I bet nobody has actually seen that number because it's only 2 papers that have been out in the last 2 years. And our focus is on making our food healthier, more sustainable, and local. Thank you.